Hey, Hot Zoners, how you doing? And welcome to the Hot Zone Report, where we recap the hottest news stories of the past week. We are right here at Ramey Restaurant in New York City. I am your host, Jason Robinson, sitting alongside my lovely co-host, Miss Kamie Crawford.
Hello.
How you doing, Kamie?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. I'm good. Are you happy that spring is here now?
It's finally sprung.
Yeah,
it has finally sprung in New York City.
We moved the clocks up 1 hour, so you got some extra sleep. You lost an hour. I'm sorry, she lost an hour.
Oh, it's
but
the
spring
worst
is
time
coming.
of the year, but spring is coming, so I'm excited about that for sure.
No more shoveling for me, Hot Zoners.
Oh.
Thank God. I want to start off first with this verdict that came down of Robin Thicke. Robin Thicke, Pharrell Williams. There was this big legal case, and the verdict came down that they had to actually pay the family of Marvin Gaye, I think it's $7.4 million for their song Blurred Lines. I guess they thought that the court said that it was a copyright infringement from the song Blurred Lines from Gotta Give It Up, Marvin Gaye. I think it was a horrible verdict. I think it doesn't make sense. Pharrell Williams, he said, listen, Marvin Gaye is an idol of mine. He's an idol. And obviously, his music was influenced by Marvin Gaye.
When I listen to the songs, they sound, I could be tone deaf, but they sound nothing alike to me. So I really don't understand the correlation between the songs. But let's face it, there's not that much original music going on in this generation, at least. But there's a lot of creativity. So you can take a song and make it into something else. Drake's new album, if you're reading this, it's too late.
Right.
It's basically all sampled music.
Right.
And it's amazing the way that you can take a song and turn it into something else that's new and inventive. I think that's amazing.
I heard that the Marvin Gaye family, they're actually going to go after Pharrell for Happy.
Okay.
So now come on now.
But where?
Yeah, exactly.
But where's the correlation?
Right.
Where is it? I don't see it.
It's money. It's greed.
I think it's a little bit
It's
about
greed. But I did hear that the attorneys for Robin Thicke and Pharrell is appealing the verdict. So, hopefully, in my opinion, I hope that it's overturned.
Right, I hope so too.
Yeah.
Sigma Alpha Epsilon, a fraternity down at University of Oklahoma, is under fire this entire week for a racist chant video that came out just a few days ago.
Okay.
And, the main guys who were featured in this video were really, gung-ho about not having black people in their fraternity ever, which we found out is not the case. There have been many fraternity members who are black who have been members of SAE at University of Oklahoma, but they have come out and said that they are seeking guidance for, their problem. Mm-hmm. But the way I see it, they had to have been taught this chant. They didn't just come up with this in 2015. It's interesting to me that in this day and age, people still, A, think this way,
right,
and B, record their thought processes for them to go viral. What do you think?
That's what I was going to ask you, who let this video out? Obviously everybody, it happened on a bus, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously they were all within that fraternity, and, why would they let that video come out?
Right.
Kind of mess up their fraternity. That's kind of strange.
Well, they were on their way to an event to celebrate something. I don't exactly know what it was, but they were celebrating, and that was their celebration song?
Right. There is so much work that still needs to be done, and the mentality that some people still have, especially with using this word, it's just crazy. And I'm upset because I don't think that it will ever change. We've been fighting this for so long, and I think some people, even the black community, still use that word, which I'm not happy with. I don't think anyone should use that word. So sometimes I think when some white people hear African Americans using that word, maybe they think that it's okay. I don't know. Giving them the benefit of the doubt, but either way, whoever uses it, I think it's wrong, and I'm very upset that this happened. And thank God. What did they do with the chapter? Is it suspended now?
The entire chapter has been suspended.
Okay.
They have taken the letters down off of the house, off of their fraternity house. They have expelled the two main students that were featured in the video, and I think that I'm really proud of the University of Oklahoma for what they did in making this swift decision, but a lot of the alumni of SAE at the University of Oklahoma, apparently they're getting ready to sue the university for making these drastic decisions. But I think that it's the best thing that they can do.
Okay.
I think that it's the only option, honestly.
Yeah.
And you there's no excuse for that kind of behavior.
Horrible, wrong, good riddance to the chapter, right?
Absolutely. But speaking of bad behavior,
yes,
Let's talk about this brawl that happened at a Brooklyn McDonald's between young ladies.
Yeah, Kamie, insane. You saw the video, right?
Yes.
You had a brawl going on between young teenager girls that broke out in a Brooklyn McDonald's, and it was a travesty. The video has gone viral. I think 16-year-old, I think her name is Anika Ferguson, was arrested for beating another 15-year-old teenager, like pummeled her,
Yeah.
I mean, kicked her, constantly beating her.
Constantly.
Her shirt came off, she's fighting in her bra, kicked the girl under the table, and everyone else jammed in and jumped in and was
Yeah.
kicking and fighting, and it was ridiculous that this just broke out in today's time, where it's like, come on, like, grow up already. I mean, yes, they're teenagers, and back in our days we've gotten little scuffles, but that was brutal. Mayor de Blasio came out and said that it's not, it should not be tolerated, and
Right.
and it has to be stopped. So it's just something that it's really sad, and it's something that we need to stop. And it's kind of ridiculous. What's your thoughts on this situation happening?
From my view, she was jumped.
Yeah.
Point blank period. It was just her, and it was like 10 other girls around her that were taking part in this, kicking her in the
No
face.
friends she had to help her out.
I mean, it was really, really disgusting. And even some of the comments from the people who were around, it was like everybody was a bystander.
Yeah.
And people were saying, oh, yeah, get her. And it's just like, come on.
Well, the bad part about it is that this 16-year-old girl, Anika Ferguson, she's a bad seed. She actually stabbed her brother, I think back on February 3rd, and was thrown in jail and released. Another time, her grandmother came storming out of their house saying, please save me. Like something, she was like going to burn the house down. She has a 1-year-old child. She's a bad seed. She's been in and out of jail. So the question is, why is she still out? Lock her up and give her the counseling she deserves.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Well, the NYPD also came out and said that the victim knew that she was going to this McDonald's to go and
Right,
fight.
exactly.
And I also saw on her Facebook that she's posting like, oh, I'm famous now.
Mm-hmm.
And people are writing all kinds of different things on her page and slang. And she's just like, I don't have 2 black eyes. I don't know where these people are getting this information
Right.
from. And it's like, girl, we all saw.
Oh, my
We
Lord.
saw, and we feel bad for you.
Absolutely.
Don't make us not feel bad for you.
Yeah.
Let us feel bad for you. Get the counseling and help that you need, obviously, because that
Yeah.
was traumatizing.
Very traumatizing, and she needs some help, and hopefully, like you said, she gets the counseling, and she's locked up for a while and gets the help she needs, and hopefully it'll work for her in the future.
Right.
Speaking about people who need help.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that need
lot
help
of 'em.
and need counseling. So that takes us to Dr. Phil. Obviously, we know Bobby Christina Brown is still in a coma, but her, I guess, boyfriend Nick Gordon needs some help. So tell me about the situation with Nick Gordon and Dr. Phil.
Honestly, Jason, I watched the entire interview turned intervention on Dr. Phil with Nick Gordon, and it broke my heart. I actually had tears welling up in my eyes for him because I feel so badly for him. I mean, he was there for the death of Whitney Houston, the legendary Whitney Houston,
Right.
and claims that he attempted CPR on her. The Houston family says that that's not the case, and that the information shows that from the scene. But now he's dealing with the exact same situation, but with the love of his life, Bobby Christina, who he calls Chrissy. And this entire interview, he's just saying how much he needs her, and if anything happens to her, he's going to kill himself, and all these suicidal thoughts that he's been having. I mean, I feel like he's been vilified in the media from the moment people found out that he was her potential brother, adoptive brother, but we found out that that wasn't the case. And then we found out that him and Bobby Christina were married, but then we found out that they weren't. It's
Right.
like,
It's like,
I
what's
feel
going
like
on?
people just think that he is a bad person, and they think that he did this to her, to Bobby Christina, and I don't think that he hurt that girl. I feel so bad for him.
Yeah, I don't think so at all, and that's the problem when you think about it. I mean, this poor guy had kidney failure that he found out. Thank God, going to Dr. Phil is able to find out he had so much pain, and because he was drinking lots of whiskey, no water, just whiskey. So now he has taking Xanax. Yeah, so he's just abusing all these drugs. So when someone is looked at in the media where they're the criminal and they're the bad guy and nothing is proven, look what it's driving him to abuse alcohol, abuse drugs, because everyone thinks that he has something to do with the situation going with Bobby Christina, and
Right.
it's not proven. So get off the guy's back. I mean,
Yeah.
look what it's pushing to, and it's great that he actually got to meet with Dr. Phil, I guess, to speak to about Bobby Christina, but obviously now that he's going to rehab, so it was really helpful.
Suge Knight.
Yes,
He's
yes.
an interesting character. Tell us about him.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is not only a criminal, but he's a comedian. Should I be saying that, Kamie? I don't know about
honestly,
Suge. I love you, man, but
I think that this guy has been getting away with murder,
Yes.
literally and figuratively, for a very long time.
He, obviously we know the whole story. Last month, he actually was involved in a hit and run where he actually killed a man. I don't know if it was his friend or he knew the guy, but he killed a man, so he's in jail currently, and his new defense is that he is legally blind in his left eye, Kamie. Allegedly, he has glaucoma, and his defense is that he didn't see the guy when he hit and killed him. So that's his defense. I never knew that he had glaucoma before, never heard about him being blind, but all of a sudden he is. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think that he's probably taken a few pointers from that viral YouTube video of that girl who was going to jail, and she was like, "Oh, I'm legally blind, I can't see." What did she say? She said, "POP, hold it down." He was like, I think that he probably had seen that video and he was like,
Right.
"It worked for her, so it'll work for me too," and just decided to come out with this. I think that he is really absurd.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of scared to say that because you just never know with that
Might
one.
come for you.
But please don't, because I'm just an innocent person in this. I think that it's a little bit ridiculous, and Karma seems to have kind of caught up with this one.
Oh yeah.
He needs to just take it and do his time and just get it out of the way. Just go.
Well, this has been so much fun, Kamie.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much for
Thank you.
joining us for another edition of the Hot Zone Report. Make sure you check out stories like this and more at the hotzoneusa.com. I'm your host, Jason Robinson, alongside with my lovely co-host, Kamie Crawford. There you go. Make sure you tune in next week for another edition of the Hot Zone Report. Take care, guys.